Viitorul e al tău, noi punem temelia. UTCP, construim pentru România. UTCP, Universitatea de Construcții București.
Well, that's the final half an hour. Thank you so much for being so resilient to be with us today for such a long journey. I'd like to have not some conclusions, but some points of my understanding of today and of the previous days. And also I will ask Kusunagi Sensei to have a word. So that's my understanding. My understanding is that the seminar today is, let's say, an enabler, is paving the road for a future cooperation. The future cooperations that shall be at the governmental level between the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport of Japan and the Ministry of Development of Romania and the Ministry of Transportation of Romania. So we tried today, and hopefully we succeeded to show that there is some mutual basis for cooperation, that there are some gaps that shall be filled by future cooperation. We would like very much to take advantage of, let's say, the forerunner, that is the government of Japan in some instances. In the case of Romania, we have some experience, and I think that for the buildings we have a very good experience, and it might be beneficial to share this kind of information at the governmental level. And as for us, people from academia, professors from Japan, people from university, people from research who were here today. As I mentioned, we are just some enablers for this future cooperation. Of course, if the government of Japan or the government of Romania will consider that people from academia may advise in some instances about, let's say, the gaps that shall be filled and the approaches that shall be taken, we are very much, let's say, willing to do so. I'm speaking on the Romanian side, but I'm very confident that from the Japanese side it's the same kind of approach. And of course, the issues of future cooperation will be discussed in the coming days during the visit in Ministry of Transportation and Ministry of Development of the Japanese delegation, and will continue with let's say, some discussions in the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport. And if there is a decision that cooperation is important, the cooperation shall be mutual. The cooperation shall be self-sustained by both parties, and for the benefit of the topic of today, maintenance and safety of bridges and buildings. And I would pass to Kusunagi Sensei for future developments.
Thank you. So, tackling with natural disaster is not easy, unfortunately. Since I became a doctoral student a long time ago, my supervisor asked me to go to the affected area in Hokkaido. That was the first time for me to visit the affected area. Since then, I conducted a field survey for many times, not only in Japan but also in the world. And always we saw so many victims and also so many sad of the left families. I would like to reduce such sad stories as much as possible. That's my motivation. But here in this room, there are many expertise. Some are researchers, some are practitioners, some are coming from the government. You can do something to make the world better. So that's, I think, basic concept. And here today, for the long distance, we get together here in this room to tackle with the same problem. We are going to look for some good way for the collaboration. So far, nobody knows what could it be, but for sure, we can find out some way, at least the personal basis for the collaboration. I heard, unfortunately, tomorrow morning I will fly back to Japan, but I think in the following days, our colleagues and the Romanian friends are going to have some several meetings to look for some better way for the collaboration. I do hope we will find out a way for good for both of us. So far today, we cannot promise for the next occasion to meet. But in the near future, we can find out a way to gather again somewhere in the world to tackle. But until then, please think on this issue more deeply when you have time. Then bring your idea to find out a better way for the collaboration. Yeah. Today, all of you are too shy to share your idea. But the next time, when we find out a way, it's a quite important timing to share your idea to make a better future. Okay?
Thank you so much, Kusanagi-sensei. So, until next time, there is still time today to share your ideas or your views or your conclusions for today. So, if anybody wants to share something with us.
Is there anything we should consider or we should take something into account when we discuss future collaboration? If you have, wait.
Just one small thing. Thank you. I just want to point out, maybe we should, I think we need help to educate the next generations.
Right.
The new researchers, the new academia, the new practitioners. We need to be a collaboration on that topic too. How to make it better, how to transfer better the knowledge that we have. Because as you said, we will retire soon, so how about...
You still have time. Yeah, right, but you're right. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's quite important to keep our good friendship between two countries for the future generation as well. Is there any other ideas, thoughts? Anything is okay. Please.
I would just like to remember the very nice years that I'm sure that Radu remembers of the CNRRS, financed by JICA, and which was a fantastic engine for the young generation. So I have witnessed that evolution. I have seen how people that were involved in the center have developed the professional personalities during the years, and how this improved and marked that generation in order to have Japan like a model. And I see now how Japan persists in their memory, and I have congratulated Radu for succeeding together, all us together here, because I hope in a new influence from Japan to our future young researchers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yolanda. This is very, very much true and very, very much somehow discouraging, because when you don't have an influx of ideas, when you don't have an influx of young people involved, then it will disappear. It will disappear for sure, and maybe the AI will replace us. But for engineering, I'm because it is about creativity, because it's so it might not. Most probably it might not. But if we don't have enough incentives, if we don't have enough engines to take the young generation on board, then it will be end. And this kind of cooperation, it's unbelievable how many engineers from Romania were influenced by the JICA project, how many staff of the university was educated during the JICA project, and the results are still there. So this kind of cooperation, it's amazing, and it's producing the best results. So it is, for sure, it's an investment in the future. I mean, for Romanian government, for Japanese government, it's an investment in the future, because it is not about us. As Kusunoki Sensei mentioned, we will retire, and if there is no people to take care in the future, then it will be a huge problem. And fortunately, we still have Japan that is making the flame going on with earthquake engineering and disaster risk management. And because, for example, for disaster risk management, at least in our university, there were 3 major stakeholders that keep the disaster risk management relevant for the university. It's the Ministry of Development, the World Bank, and the Department for Emergency Situations. Otherwise, okay, it was just a sort of passion, but you cannot continue only with passion. Passion is necessary, but it is not sufficient in this case. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you one more thing to take into account when we think about future collaboration, which is to widen the international collaboration, not only between Romania and Japan, but also Turkey, across country to Romania. They are also facing the same problem. Japan also has a long history of friendship with Turkey. Then we discussed a lot about the same issue, but still we couldn't find out a way. They know what is the Japanese seismic evaluation method, and they know also, like Romania, but still we cannot find out a way. Recently, some researchers, a group of researchers visited to Japan on the same purpose from Croatia. They are facing the same problem. Even in Italy, New Zealand, even United States come to our laboratory to discuss about the future collaboration on seismic retrofitting. As such, so many countries are looking for the same solution. So this opportunity, I believe we can somehow develop a model case or prototype to collaborate, to tackle with a natural disaster such as earthquake. Then once we succeed, we can enhance our collaboration with other countries as well. That's my future dream. So please think about the more future activities like with other countries. So at least we have better take the memos of our discussion and what we saw and what we tried to find out the way that could be helpful for other countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As Kusunoki-sensei pointed out, this bilateral cooperation between Romania and Japan will be a good model case for the global cooperation with the archaic home countries. In this connection, having a seminar at only one time will not be sufficient to be a model case. So, continuous cooperation and the framework. Somehow framework to last this relationship. Such a mechanism is needed, I suppose. So this meeting is a private meeting, not a government official authority, but we can give our opinion that to establish intergovernmental cooperative framework in the future to continuously make a dialogue between the two countries. Currently, private sector and academia should be together. Public-private partnership might be the best solution to make this relationship sustainable and be a good example for the future. For the other countries. So as a private sector company, we are ready to cooperate to this framework. So we would like to keep on discussing with you. Thank you very much.
So first of all, I really enjoyed today's workshop. I could learn a lot. So as you mentioned, so we have to work together. So I remember Professor Dan Blanco told me that you have to learn resilience, like even before 2011 Great Japan earthquake. So at that time in Japan, no one said resilience is a very important keyword in earthquake engineering. So if we work together, we can share our knowledge and lessons. So this is a really strong motivation. And also Japan and Romania are facing a very similar environment. We have earthquake. We have so many bridges and buildings with the deterioration. So also, as Professor Kusunoki mentioned, even if we have a very good new design code, but this cannot change anything if retrofit or repair are not conducted. So I remember in 2003 in Sendai we had a very big earthquake, and I conducted the field investigation. Sendai is far from Kobe city, but at that time I expected most of the infrastructure were already retrofitted. But however, many Shinkansen viaducts were damaged, and I realized there are no retrofit. So the railway company didn't do anything for Shinkansen viaduct in Iwate Prefecture. So this kind of a problem is really difficult to solve. So, but if we work together and we share knowledge, and if you have very good lessons and experience, so we can follow it. Also, you can follow us. So we often have this kind of meeting to exchange our knowledge and lessons. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have to mention, because Professor Akiyama came forward with the name of Dan Frankopol. So many times he is a graduate of this university, he is Dr. Honoris Causa of this university, and tomorrow for the University of Timișoara will award Professor Dan Frankopol Dr. Honoris Causa as well. Is there any other comments to be made or issues to be raised?
Thank you very much, Dr. Lian, and thank you very much for, my name is Hiroshi Kudai from the Japanese Embassy in Romania. And we heard the word of framework, which is necessary for us to put the way forward. And I'd like to mention that there is a very big framework between Japan and Romania, which is the strategic partnership, which was signed last year between the two heads of states. And in that strategic framework, it is clearly mentioned that both countries commit themselves to increase bilateral cooperation in the area of disaster risk reduction, including preparedness and response activities in emergency situations, and in the field of emergencies. Specifically, both countries will engage in technical cooperation in earthquake damage mitigation and response. So we do have the very big framework between our two countries. Our mission is how to implement all those issues in a very specific ways. So I would like to, our mission is to continue to elaborate and to make it much more concrete, all those commitments we have made between two heads of states. So I would like to emphasize our embassy's commitment to work with you together in order to implement all of these commitments which were made by the two heads of states. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you so much. That's very, very important that you mentioned the strategic partnership. That is the umbrella for, let's say, more focused partnerships and cooperation. If there are no more, yeah, sure.
So thank you so much. And I have one mention. Please do not forget the maintenance aspect.
Of course.
Sure. Actually, that was the main engine for today. Okay. Thank you so much. So I'd like again to express my gratitude to all the professors and officials and professionals who came from Japan and Turkey today. It's very important for us that we have the opportunity to have you all here today. I would like to thanks to the Romanian government agencies, authorities who joined us today, and of course to the professionals and my colleagues that were here and still are here today. And as I said before, our event of today it's an enabler, and I do hope it is a very important enabler for all the parties involved in order to have the cooperation for rehabilitation and maintenance of buildings and transportation infrastructure in Romania and in Japan. And the final word is with Professor Kusunoki.
So, final word will be placed when we achieve the goal. But for today, I'm very happy to share this very important time with all of you. I'm confident somehow we can proceed to the goal and we can reduce the victims for the next disasters. Thank you very much for coming today.
Viitorul e al tău, noi punem temelia. UTCB